There are several types of reviews a software company might use. Using one does not prevent you from using others. In fact, the best process is to use a combination of all of these. For example, you might use the informal methods early on to catch those easy mistakes and ensure compliance with design specifications. Then, you might use a more formal and more rigidly test and verify, and then you might even go to postmortems after the fact to see what could be done better or differently the next time. Let's look at some of these review types that you might use during your project. Informal reviews may be as simple as having a single person review your code. They're going to check to make sure that it is meeting the requirements specified in the design phases. They may do it simply by coming by your desk, and this is often referred to as a desk check. It is actually a core component to pair coding, often referenced in different agile development processes. With pair coding, our process occurs continuously. Various informal means can occur to check everything from coding logic to visual prototypes of the interface. They may be even checking for the correct coding standards based upon the specific language being used. That way, it's easier to join your code with your colleagues. In a formal technical review, or FTR, this is going to be a software quality control activity performed by software engineers and sometimes others. The objective of an FTR is to uncover errors in function, logic, or implementation for any representation of the software. It's going to verify that the software under review meets the requirements. It's also going to ensure that the software has been represented according to predefined standards. Next, its goal is to achieve software that is developed in a uniform manner. And finally, is to work on making projects more manageable. As there should be multiple FTRs for any one project, each FTR will only be successful if it is properly planned, controlled, and attended. Review meetings should be composed of only a few people and focus on a small component. For example, a section of the interface and all the code that goes with it. During a review meeting, someone should be responsible for recording all the notes in a written format to ensure that nothing is missed when returned back to the developers. This will include who reviewed it, what was reviewed, and the associated findings, both good and bad. For a good review meeting, consider the following points. Make sure you review the product, not the producer. Set an agenda and maintain it. Don't go off trying to review other parts. Focus on what you're supposed to be doing. Limit debate and rebuttal, especially on how big an impact this will have. Enunciate problem areas, but don't attempt to solve every problem. Limit the number of participants and insist upon advanced preparation. Develop a checklist for each product that is likely to be reviewed, and conduct meaningful training for all reviewers. Additionally, you want to review previous reviews so it can help you improve your review process. Many lessons can be learned if a software team simply takes the time to evaluate the results of a software project after the software has been delivered to end users. This is often referred to as a post-mortem evaluation. Unlike an FTR that focuses on a specific work product, a post-mortem examines the entire software project, focusing on both excellences, that is, the achievements and positive experiences, as well as the challenges. This can be considered problems or negative experiences. I like to think of this as a two-step process. One from the developers on the project, what they think went right and wrong and how to fix areas and problems. For example, was something not well defined in the designs? Was there poor communication or lack of development resources? Etc., etc. And secondly, figuring out how to solve those issues. Now, the second part of the postmortem I like to think about is going to speak more to the end users and finding out what right and wrong for the product as a whole. What do they like about it? What do they wish was a little different? Marrying these two together lets you see where resources can be best spent by identifying what the customer didn't like with how developers could fix changes and what they suggest be implemented. You might wonder how to determine what the customer thinks. Well, survey cards actually work well. Talking to customers at trade shows is even better, as does the developers fielding calls on customer support lines. The key to this is the same as the key for a good start of a project. That is, good communication. It will really help your review process.